On today's episode of That Was Us, we're diving into Season 3, Episode 3, Katie Girls. Everyone rallies around Kate as she undergoes egg retrieval surgery. Both Randall and Kevin go on personal journeys to connect with different parts of Jack's life, and Rebecca must decide between the comfort of her previous life or the excitement of a new one. Hello, friends.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Sterling.
What were you just doing? We just had lunch.
And Sterling literally just finished this episode.
Did you even finish it?
I am close. I'm like 5 minutes from having a holy time.
All right, we'll wait. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
It's time to go.
No, we'll just look at the camera.
Time to go. Oh, you guys, there are lots of questions being answered in Katie Girls, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could just jump right into how the episode starts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's sort of a flashback
There you go.
The
to
pendulum is
the
swinging.
50s.
Yeah.
With a doting wife and a husband who just comes home from work. The wife is just like putting dinner on the table, pouring a drink. Little girls sort of posted up in front of the TV and then clocking what the dynamic between her parents, right?
The good old days.
The good old days.
You know what I mean?
And I think
let's go back.
we come to realize that is that's young Rebecca Pearson,
That's
Rebecca
right.
Malone,
That's right.
and her parents.
And that
The
is
only Rebecca not played by you?
The only Rebecca not played by me, but Taylor was watching it with me. He's like, oh, they did this before they casted your parents in real life. I was like, well, no, Elizabeth Perkins had been cast, but I don't think you'd met Tim Matheson yet. I'm not sure. Had we?
no, I don't think we had. I think
Because
we've only
he
seen
looks
Mom.
nothing like
Right.
Tim Matheson.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just,
You
we don't always nail it, right?
You
Can't win 'em all.
course correct when
We
you can.
course,
It's
we
all
course
good.
correct.
This is also the youngest version of Rebecca that you did get to play
Yes.
in high school. And you're
With
16?
16, yeah.
We got pigtails going on?
We don't have pigtails. We just sort of have the flippy bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
with a
bangs.
hard bangs.
With a hard bang.
Curtain bang.
And there were braces at one point. They didn't end up using the braces.
And they took the
They
braces
took the
off.
braces away.
A bridge too far.
A bridge too far.
Well, it's interesting because in that sort of evolution of things and you watching your mom at that time in schools, and it's still in schools today, like home economics is like a class that a lot of folks will take. And in that time, I guess it was dominated by the girls and shop class was dominated by the
Right.
boys.
Yeah.
And you sort of reminiscing on what you've seen in your household, your mom just sort of like waiting on everything for her dad.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? I don't know if that's what I want to recreate for myself.
That's right.
So you're like, I'm opting out of this home ec thing. I'm gonna go do me some shop class, right?
She doesn't know what she's doing.
She doesn't know what she's doing, but there's a nice boy over there that,
Yeah.
let the saw do its thing.
Yeah.
It'll take care of itself. And so you let the teeth do its thing. You're like, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And this dude, his name is Alan.
Alan.
And I think this is one of the things that you can't trust about a dude named Alan. I don't know if it's A-L-A-N or A-L-L-E-N.
I think it's ALAN.
You think so?
I think so.
Was that on the call sheet?
I want to say
But
it
that's
was.
why you can't trust him.
You just don't know.
You can spell it two different ways. And if I can spell your name two different ways and they sound the same,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, sir.
Okay. All right.
I don't know about
Yeah.
you. Hot take.
Yeah. Hot take.
take.
Right there.
Hot take.
Zoom in. But he delivers quite the line. He says, they've never seen anyone like you.
And they never will
And
again.
they never will again.
Right. It turns out that this young man is the same young man, not so young anymore, a little bit older, who we see on the doorstep
Just showing up, kissing people.
kissing my mama.
Yeah.
That's right.
While my daddy was like, yo, I thought you left the jacket. I thought I was supposed
That was
to.
a sign.
But there's even like after the kiss and she comes in, turns out that Alan's moved away
Yeah.
for some time and he just showed back up to come back for the girl specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when she lets him in and after the kiss, there's this sort of look out into the horizon by Rebecca Malone as if like somebody else is supposed to be here.
Yeah, I just feel maybe something
Yeah.
out there. You know,
Disturbance
sometimes
of the
when you're
force.
being watched
Yeah.
and
I know that.
you don't,
I do.
yeah,
I
like
do
someone's
indeed.
looking
A lot.
at you, but
Yeah.
I think that was
It's
the,
usually my 4-year-old.
I know that
Turn
well.
around. Oh, jeez.
Stop staring at me.
You're so quiet.
So we find out this is Mr. Allen. Allen's moved to London. He's
Yep.
working, is he a
He's a-
writer?
He's
he
man
is.
about
He's a
the
journalist.
world.
He's been working at the Telegraph.
He's working at the Telegraph and He comes back. I don't know if we know it in that house, but you guys go to his parents' house.
Yeah.
And his mom and dad seem really, really lovely.
Lovely.
Right?
Another TV legend in,
Who is it?
in
Who
his
is-
mom.
Oh, from Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm in the Middle, the mom from Malcolm in the Middle,
Jane
played by
Kasmerick.
Jane
Is that Jane? That's
Kasmerick.
Jane Kes?
Yeah.
That's right.
I knew who that
Yeah.
was.
That's
and
right,
I
but
just
you
wasn't
know, because
placing
This
it.
Is Us weaves it all in,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was,
And it
she
had
was,
the beautiful sort of silver white
actually,
hair.
The hair was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
I really did like that.
Real
And she-
hair?
I believe so.
All right, beautiful.
Probably.
Yeah.
And she was saying, like, I knew you picked a good one. And like, I knew that you were somebody special when you said that you weren't going to follow him.
To London.
To
yes.
It's
London.
an interesting thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Interesting thing
there
to
was
say.
something that you wanted to do for yourself and you weren't going to chase some dude. I said, kudos. And so he comes back realizing that his life is unfulfilled with that. And then they ask, how's the singing going? He's like, you know what? It's going okay. Like, I sent my demo out to these people who represent, do they represent Joni?
It's her record label.
They did their last,
Yeah.
her last album.
To a
Yeah.
record label or whatnot. So I'm thinking about going out and like paying them a visit or whatever.
And Alan.
And
Don't do that.
I don't know if it's ALAN or ALA. No, don't
Yeah.
go to LA.
Come to New York.
Go to New York. Because I can like introduce you to some people at, is it Time Out or is that something like that?
Some
And-
bullshit.
Yeah, I can write there, you can pursue your music and we could go together, right? So he's not crapping on the dream.
No, but he's
But he's
molding it to his
crafting it.
own.
Yeah.
There,
To his own
wants.
liking.
Yeah.
There you go, right? And you can see Rebecca sort of like, New York's not bad.
Yeah, I hadn't really
It's-
thought about that.
It's
I
not
guess
what I had in mind, but
it could still
It
work.
is.
Yeah. and it looks like you agree.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
You don't disagree.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Yes,
even.
I
That's
don't
even better.
disagree.
Okay. So also at the top of this episode, because these two things will dovetail. My man Jack is home, and the sort of dueling domesticity, scenarios
Yeah.
is his dad is just a prick,
A dick.
Yeah, he's emotionally, physically abusive. Yeah.
right? And mom is running around again like a chicken with her head cut off, but like there's not even sort of like the satisfaction of like, oh well, my man will appreciate this, and
No.
my daughter's doing well, and all
Yeah.
this stuff. Like it's just heartache throughout the whole thing. She
Yeah.
makes him a sandwich. She brings it to him. He's like, what is this, a pickle factory? Something. I don't know if that's exactly what he
Yeah,
said
he
because that's a
did.
whole
Pickle
other
parade.
thing.
Yeah.
Pickle parade. Not much better. Throws the sandwich on the ground and is like, make
it
another
again.
one.
Oh.
And Big Jack is like, no, mom, leave it.
Yeah, this ends right
Yeah.
now.
Like, this
Yeah.
is the first sort of time he's like, dude, I've watched enough and I've been quiet because but like now
Yeah.
you've gone too far. And he says, Mom, you can pick it up and stay, and I'll kill him, or you can leave.
Yeah.
Right? And that's it. You're a big man now. You come
Yeah.
back from the war, etc. You notice he didn't get up out of his seat.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
like, I'll say something, but like, dude did just come back from the war
Yeah.
and it could probably beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom agrees to pack up her stuff, but she's like, we got to stop by the store. I got to take her a coffee cake.
Yeah,
or
she's
something.
going to stay at a friend's house, and she's like, I can't arrive
I
empty-handed.
can't arrive
Let's get her a
empty-handed.
coffee
and
cake.
like,
or...
and it's such a wonderful male-female moment in terms of like, all right, get the coffee cake.
Yeah,
you know what
like,
I'm saying? Like,
she doesn't care, but
He
if that
doesn't
makes you
ca-
happy, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like
Yes.
he's saying, your friend won't care, but if
Right.
it makes you happy,
do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right. So they go to get the coffee cake, and before we even know it, like you guys have had your conversation, you and Alan, or what have you.
yeah. His mom and I have this great conversation in the kitchen, and she's just spunky, and I like the rapport that she and Rebecca have.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely I think aspires to be like Alan's mom.
Sure.
Like she definitely, like, you see that she's powerful. She has a sense of authority. She's really confident, and the choices that she's made in her life as well, I think, kind of mirror what
Sure.
the kind of woman
What
Rebecca
she
wants to be. And then Alan shows up in the kitchen in another scene and basically is like, sorry, I was going to try to wait at least like a week before
Right.
I asked you to move to New York with me. And Rebecca basically says like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
go with you.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
So then she is like, we should celebrate. This calls for champagne. I'm going to go get some champagne. You
Okay.
stay here with your family.
Yep.
Let me go do this. She goes
She
to the
goes
grocery
to this
store
grocery
where
store.
she runs into.
Right smack dab in the middle of Jack and his mom. Right.
Yeah.
Looking
And
for
she's
this
sort of like,
Coffee
wait,
cake.
what are you doing on this side of town?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
where he lives.
Right.
Yep.
And she's visiting, Alan's parents. And he's like, I'm with my mom or whatever. And they have this very like awkward, stilted
scene.
sort of conversation where it's like they're both not saying what they really mean.
They don't know each other.
They don't know each other, but it's sort of like, I don't want to stop talking to you and I don't know why. And that's probably not appropriate. And I've just left the house with these people that I've.
You say you never came.
Yeah.
He's like, I did. And saw you on the doorstep with some guy. And you're like, oh,
Wow.
that was a dude from, not, no big deal. We dated for a few years and he's like, okay. And he's like, well, I'll make sure you get your jacket
He said
back.
you don't owe me an explanation, which is they're true. It's
Yeah.
like, you don't have to explain. Like,
And you're just like, but like not, I'm going to New York
yeah.
and I'm going to pursue my dream and I'm really excited about it. And he's like, you should. You got a really great voice. And you're like, thanks.
That was really well delivered. It was really well, like, because Rebecca's kind of testing his waters
Yeah.
with her dreams.
Yep.
How would this guy react to what I want to do?
Exactly. And she goes, Jack? And he's like, yeah. Do you have a dream? And he's like, wow.
No one's ever asked me.
Nobody's really ever asked me that. And he starts talking about, well, I want to make sure my mom's okay. And I want a decent job and a wife and a family and, quote, a house that feels nothing like the one I grew up in. And he's like, does that sound all right? And then he says, bye, Rebecca. And she's standing there, and then he walks back towards his mom.
And he
And
turns
he
around.
stops to turn around to look, and Rebecca's gone.
Yeah.
It's a good scene.
I feel like that's the question we should be asking.
Huh.
Do you have a dream? Like instead of like, I'm always, because I'm constantly around like Bear's kindergarten parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, instead of being like, so what do you do?
Sure.
What's your
That's
job?
a good icebreaker.
Yeah,
Like, hey, what's your dream?
that's a good one.
Like it's such an easy,
Yeah.
like, and most importantly, if someone's never been asked that.
Yeah.
Like our last fan segment.
Mhm.
Write the book.
Write the book.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, Noreen.
You
It's
write,
in you.
She writes all the time
It's
now.
in you.
Write the book.
For sure.
What would the book be about?
I would hazard to say that the three of us are privileged to be living our dream.
I was about to say, there is a lot of privilege just in the act of dreaming.
Absolutely. But out of curiosity, was there ever any other dream? Or does where you are look a little bit different than what you dreamed of?
I don't think I ever could have imagined or dreamed of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Truly. Like, oof, now I'm going to get emotional. It's like, the gratitude of how things have unfolded in life. It's like I didn't know to even dream of any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you?
That's a good answer. You know what? I agree wholeheartedly. I wanted to act. I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I went to grad school for it and felt great. And I was like, well, I have all this theater training, so I'll probably do a lot of regional theater and hopefully I can do Shakespeare and maybe I'll get a chance to do Shakespeare in the Park. And maybe I'll get to do some Broadway or whatnot. And that was sort of like really cool. It's like, maybe I'll get a few guest spots here. If I can get the insurance, to a certain amount, then I'll be covered that way, et cetera, et cetera. And then to be a working actor is a dream in and of itself. To pay the bills just by acting was sort of like, if I can do that. Then, like, right before, like, this show happened, like, to go from the OJ thing to this that was when it really sort of became like, like, I'm not just showing up and saying the lines, which is all I really wanted to do, but now people want to know what I think. And we have a podcast, like, all this other stuff. I'd never imagined this part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I mean, I was perfectly content with my life in Chicago.
Yeah.
Being like a blue collar theater actor.
Sure, man.
Paying the bills, owning a house, working in the theater.
Yeah.
And then scooped off to New York out of nowhere.
Yeah.
like a magic trick. And the same, and then
Lombardi took you to?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I'm not kidding. It was a magic trick. I was doing the artist's way with a group of people, and we were doing our morning pages. And
you were telling me because the artist's way is kind of cool and funky for anybody who doesn't know.
The artist's way is a 12-week like workbook to recover your creative self.
Gotcha.
To break through any of the inner critic voices, to move past any of the blocks you have, to maybe following your dream. Yeah. It doesn't have to be even artistic, but creativity is involved in everything. Yeah. And it was written by this woman named Julia Cameron, and she is a famous kind of 12-stepper.
Okay.
And ironically, the book is 12, not ironically, it's not ironic. It's 12 weeks.
There's a reason.
It's 12 weeks, and each creative recovery step is based on one of those steps.
Okay.
And they tell you not to do it alone. Yeah. They tell you, she says do it in a group.
Yeah.
Because
have you done it?
No, but I know all about it.
Okay. It's like hard emotional soul searching.
Sure.
And to do it by yourself, a lot of people, if you ask anyone who has tried it on their own, they have made it to week 4.
Okay. And they
put it up on the shelf because week 4 is where you have to like look back, dig deep, and figure out why you're not doing what you want to be doing.
Okay.
And admit it to yourself.
Okay.
And try to move through it.
Yeah.
And it's hard work. But one of the things you do every day is you wake up in the morning and you do these morning pages, which is three pages of just like,
you don't edit.
Yeah.
You don't edit. You just blurt it all out.
Right.
And it's essentially like it's a release valve for negativity or anxiety or whatever, doubt, whatever the thing is. I used it for several different things, including like songwriting and all these things. But one day I was like, this is gonna sound stupid, but I feel, and this is arrogant. It was like, it's where you can say the things you can't say to people.
Sure.
But I feel like I'm done in Chicago. I'd only been there 5 years. I'm like, I feel like I've done what I can do here. And I feel like Broadway is the next thing. And there's I had no prospects, no connections to New York, nothing. And I could show you the page. And 1 week later, I got a phone call from a company manager of a play I was in Chicago. Yeah. Who said, hey, a friend of mine in New York is casting for a Broadway play, and she's looking for football player-sized actors. And she said, they're already in callbacks, but if you'll fly yourself out, they'll see you. And I flew out and met Tommy Kail and read with Dan Lauria.
Tommy Kail, the director of Hamilton.
Yeah.
And Rach and I were 4 months out from getting married. And I got this part in this Broadway play.
What?
Living in Chicago.
Wild.
You want to hear the craziest part?
Give it to me.
I wasn't the only person in that Artist's Way group of 12 people to get a Broadway play.
Who else?
There was another this woman named Elizabeth.
Okay.
6 months later, got a Broadway play.
Really?
Out of nowhere. Like just manifesting things. Two people recorded albums. One person moved to Thailand to become a filmmaker. Like it was a magical group. But yeah, the scope of like what's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, I never dreamed. At every moment, I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. No, I can't believe this is happening.
There's something very powerful about putting internal sort of hopes, desires, dreams on paper. Mm-hmm. Because I'm similar to you. I remember writing something recently. I was like, I did a lot of guest spots and I pop up on different shows. I was like, God, I want to do something like on Showtime or HBO or FX or like one of those sort of prestige network things where I get a really juicy part where like, you know, people will remember it like in the industry. I want to do something that actors look at and they say, oh, I like that guy. I like what he's doing in that show. About a year or so before OJ.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful and real. Very real.
It's really, really cool. So it's real, guys. If their dreams are out there, man, don't shy away from that stuff.
You have to
put it out there.
Manifest
and you don't have to tell everybody about your dreams because people will crap on them. You just need to tell yourself what they are.
Yeah.
That's
be honest.
That's it.
Be
Yeah.
honest.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That's
I love
awesome,
those
son.
stories.
Which is why we should ask that question.
Yeah,
We should ask each other.
I agree.
And if you want to share, you should share it. And if not, maybe you should think about it.
If somebody hits us up later on the information hotline or on our email, share your dreams. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
More That Was Us after these words from our sponsors. The minute it gets warm, I convince myself I need a whole new wardrobe. And then I end up with a pile of clothes that I never wear. Quince is the one brand that actually helped me break that habit. Their pieces are timeless, lightweight, and somehow make my closet feel pulled together.
Sully, I have peeped your game, and I've seen how the Quince repertoire has stepped up your fashion sense. I'm feeling it, bro. I wound up picking up a few summer staples myself from Quince. Got some nice linen shorts, kind of easy breezy, beautiful brown. You know what I'm saying? Got a pair of nice Italian leather sandals. Trying to get my grown and sexy on this summer. You understand what I'm saying? The quality seriously impressed me, and the prices are way better than what you'd expect for something this nice.
With Quince, you get to look and feel like luxury without the usual price tag. I'm such a big fan of all of their linen pieces, truly. They're so luxurious, you feel put together, it's crisp, it's perfect for the summer, it's lightweight, it's easy to travel with. They have so many great summer pieces. The best 100% European linen pieces, dresses starting at just $30, luxe swimwear, Italian leather platform sandals, and more.
And the best part? Everything is priced 50 to 80% less than you'd find at similar brands. Plus, Quince only partners with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible practices. It feels good knowing that you're getting quality, but you're also supporting better standards at the same time.
Treat your closet to a little summer glow up with Quince. Go to quince.com/TWU for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/TWU to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/TWU.
So after that, Rebecca goes back to Alan's home.
Yeah.
And confides in his mom that she has said yes to Alan to going to New York, but she has this feeling about someone else and she doesn't know him. They have very different lives and very different dreams and ideas of the future, but she just has this feeling about him. And his mom is essentially like you can't ignore that, right?
Yeah.
This woman, like it's so the writing and the way they've set up this relationship, like it's very clear that back in high school, you even said early on, like
Yes.
I had a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Exactly.
talking about your mom.
No, her.
Right.
Talking
Yeah.
about this woman.
Yeah, she's definitely an inspiration, I think, to Rebecca. She
And-
has a lot of respect and
And it's not like loyal to her son above
Right.
truth.
The sister, and also the sisterhood. She's like, this is a woman who has a lot of potential. Like, I wouldn't want to see her waste that.
Yeah.
Even if it means being with my son.
Yeah.
Right? It could be a benefit to him, but like, I want to see you shine.
Yeah, that's right.
So Rebecca
Here we go.
finds
Come on now.
Jack. She looks for the car because she knows his car at this point and deduces he's at this particular house, and she just goes
Shows
up and knocks on the door.
Yeah.
And he answers the door, and he's dropped his mom off at her friend's house where she's going to be staying for the future, and they went out on a walk, but he's home. And it's so interesting because he sort of invites her in, and then like kind of just like they have this conversation. He just like goes back to the kitchen and starts doing the dishes.
He's sorry for the mess. Yeah.
But it's like it's not like he's welcoming a guest with open arms and how you would sort of like not roll out the red carpet, but you would at least, feel like, oh, this person who I have this connection with, we just went on a date or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
But he just sort of leads her to the kitchen to do dishes. And they have this like they just sort of stand there in silence, and like one washes the dishes and Rebecca like takes them and dries them, and
But
they
it's
just
comfortable. It doesn't feel, I mean, yes, there's things that are being unsaid, But the fact that you were able to be in each other's presence without having to talk.
To say anything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like another level.
Yeah, it was sort of like, we don't have to have a conversation about anything right now. We don't have to address like the elephant in the room. Do we want to be together? Do we want to pursue this? We can just like, I just need your essence. Like, I need to be around you. And I don't know why. And I don't have to answer that right now, but I'm comfortable enough to just stand here and help you dry these dishes. That's all I need.
But you did ask him a question, Rebecca.
Yeah.
What you asked him?
I don't remember. What did I ask?
You
Go
asked
for a
him if he
drive?
wanted to go for a drive.
Oh, yeah.
And he was
At
like,
the end of the episode.
at
At the very end of the
At the
season.
very end, and you're like, where you want to go? And she's like, you said, where'd you want to go?
California.
To L.A.
Yeah.
Los
And he's
Angeles.
like, he said, yeah,
Let's go to Los
let's
Angeles.
go to Los Angeles. And you guys keep doing the dishes or what have you. But it's also, there was no balking at it. There was no like, you want me to just pick up and go to like, he's like, I will do what you want.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is the clear message in
That
terms
was
of
the
the arc
answer.
of the episode.
That was the answer she
right?
needed. It was like, this is how they got together.
Yeah. Because you said it before earlier. I'm thinking about going there. And my man was like, ah.
Only New York. New York.
Don't
New York.
do
LA's
that.
fine,
Yeah.
but New York?
Yeah.
Way
and
better.
you said, I'm going to take a drive. I'm going to go to LA. He's like, yeah.
Well, because it kind of, I mean, in a passive way, it's what Jack wants too, which is to get as far away from here
Yeah.
as possible.
Very true.
Yeah, once his
And
mom
now-
is set up, I think he's good to go.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Let's roll.
That's a great arc. I love all of that. We got
Kevin-
Kev's movie premiere.
Yeah.
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 Everybody is I love seeing us in the audience just
Yeah.
overcome
Yeah.
with emotion.
Now, I know you're talented. Was that your tier?
They're all my tears.
That one was yours?
They're all mine.
The one tier. I love it. I
They're
love the
just-
single tier.
Sterling,
Family
can you just pull
is-
it up just to sit there.
Yeah. And watch a fake movie.
And
Enraptured.
I would like everyone to notice it's camera side.
Of course.
It's
No,
like
Sterling's like, what, you need the left or right? Where are we?
right.
Oh, you're over here?
Okay, good.
Got it.
I will give you an anecdote. I was doing shooting something
Before this podcast, sorry, do you
Go ahead.
Before this podcast's over, we're going to ask you to do it on this podcast.
maybe. It doesn't work like that, to be perfectly honest with you. Like,
You still have to get
there has to
there.
be something like emotionally going on.
Oh, we'll get there.
But I was doing a scene and I was shooting it in Paris, and makeup people, they're very sweet, and they're like, if you need, what's the stuff they blow in your eye like people will do?
Oh, yeah. It's like it's
Menthol.
menthol. Yeah.
They're like, if you need the menthol, what have you. And like, there was a part of me that was like, child, you must not know who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, do you use it? Have you ever, listen, in
No
all
shade.
6 years.
No shade. No shade to people that
whatever
do.
you need to get to, but
Yeah.
like most of us were just like, we had enough on the page or in our lives or what have you.
I've had the menthol before. It doesn't help. It just like
No.
it just makes your eyes feel
Really?
like they're
Yeah.
burning. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not.
Yeah.
That's not a natural. That's not an emotional tear.
Sure.
It's just like my eyes are irritated.
Yeah. Just looks like you have been crying.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're all sort of like, keep
No,
that
it's all
menthol.
on the page.
It's all on the page.
Yeah.
The K stands for crying.
Sterling.
Sterling Crown Brown.
Yeah.
But we're all so moved, and you can like, I loved Justin because he's got this look like,
Like,
you guys like it?
yeah. Like you're impressed?
This is going well. It's like I thought people wouldn't take me seriously. Kate and Randall have this conversation
Yeah.
about the IVF because Randall's sort of late to the whole thing. But he also shares concerns similar to his mom about this can be very dangerous. Are you sure you've thought this all the way through, et cetera, et cetera? And she's like, yeah. She says something about, it becomes really strangely contentious because she's like, if it comes to that, I could always adopt, but
If it comes to that.
right. And he's like, what, adopting doesn't mean anything? Because he's sort of fixated on this phrase of like having a piece of dad. And Kate thinking she's the only person that can
Right.
share a piece of dad.
Right.
And she's like, bro, that's not what I mean. Like I'm not trying to do it to
Yeah.
make you feel a particular way or what have you. But he is feeling a particular way, especially because Chi-Chi just told him, like, you don't even pay attention to anything that's going on. I was like, he's catching strays left and right. And he's
Yeah.
sort of in his feelings, right? But she kind of puts him in his place.
Yeah.
It's like, look, man, it wasn't easy for me. Like it was easy for you. You did wind up adopting after you had 2 children, the old-fashioned way or whatnot. Like, get off of my case. If
Yeah,
this
and
is
I'm
something
sorry
I
that it was
wanna
so
do,
easy for Beth to get pregnant. It hasn't been easy for me
hasn't
to get
been
pregnant.
easy
This
for
is the
me.
only way I can.
right? So he's like, he's kind of like, being quiet now. You see him later talking to his wife. Or I think he was talking to the councilman before, upset that the maintenance people didn't come. Councilman winds up hanging up on him. So he's sort of feeling crappy there. But then he's talking to Beth about the whole thing, and she asked if he apologized. And he's like, why do I need to apologize? Like, we talked, kind of, but not really. And
Because we have a group text thread.
You have a group text thread with
me, Miguel, and and Beth.
The
It's
other big three?
mostly GIFs, but GIFs and talking about how messed up your family is.
It's pretty jacked. Yeah. Well, and I think you guys sort of represent the audience, or a portion of the audience is like, will these people
Just a little mirror.
Ever get it
over
together?
themselves?
Yeah.
And the answer is
I was like,
eventually.
That's got to be a fun text chain.
It's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so she even takes it upon herself to just call Kate.
And hands you the
And
phone.
hands me the
I have
phone.
Randall for you.
Right? And Kate just got these flowers from Kev, like a big bouquet. And she sort of interprets, like, this is the kind of thing that you give somebody, like, as they're about to pass away. They look like flowers for,
funeral.
Someone who's never going to see
funeral.
flowers again.
Or something like that, right? And so she's about to go into surgery, and she's like, I don't have time for this conversation, because he never quite gets to,
An apology.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, I uttered some utterances that maybe shouldn't have been uttered, and I'm utterly, she's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And so
can't.
he can tell that she's scared. And I think one of the beautiful things about the family is, like, when somebody is in crisis, they respond.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Whether it's Kev, Randall, or Kate,
They
like when
show
they
up.
sense somebody, and Rebecca, for that matter, but like still to this day, when you show up at the doorstep,
To hug
like
her?
right after
Yeah. Yep.
folks show up,
Yeah.
right? So he decides, like, Beth is saying, like, what Miggs also says is that you guys like to overact, and he's like, I'm flying to LA to go see my
There you
sister,
go.
right?
There you go.
He's gone. There you go. He gets to
Miggs.
Los Angeles, and she's in surgery already. Toby and Kate, Kate has given you permission to remarry
Yes.
if she passes away, right? You consent to marry somebody.
But not to Sharon and HR or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah, not with Sharon or what have you, but somebody who's less interesting, but,
Yeah.
fairly safe. But it's one of those moments that you try to make light of, but there are concerns. Like, and I take it for granted. I've been put under 3 or 4 times, and I never give it a second thought or whatnot. Because I always think it's like, it's just they put you to sleep or whatnot. But like the
They're breathing
caltration
for you.
of it is real specific.
Yeah.
Because there is this idea that you cannot wake up. And I think the caltration becomes a little bit more complicated when you're dealing with a plus size individual, right? So you make light of things, but there's still, she says it in a real abundance of grace so that if something happens, I want you to be happy, which is sweet. And you're like, nothing's going to happen, which is what you're supposed to say because you don't want to think about anything other than that. She's in surgery. He's sitting, he's waiting. Randall comes in. And I remember this a lot, Chris, because this was like our first scene.
Yeah. 3 seasons in.
3 seasons in, and it's just Sully and Brown doing our thing, and we're both dealing with anxiety and depression. Your knees bouncing, and you're trying to get it to stop. I see teeth grinding is my thing, and you look at me, is that, a manifestation of your anxiety? I say, yeah, and he's like, I'd never think about it to see you. And I say,
Yeah, you don't
we
present
all
that
cover,
way.
we all got to be strong, what have you. And then you tell me about the antidepressants, and I was like, bro, you're like one of the funniest people. I never would have imagined it. And you're like, yeah, that's being a man, et cetera. And in the midst of the sort of this vulnerable moment of these 2 guys admitting that, like, we are not
Dissimilar.
dissimilar in that way. And like, while we both try to put our best face forward, whether it's through humor or like taking care of things, et cetera, nobody's perfect, right? And I think it was, what I loved about it is like, when there is that shared admittance of imperfection, it sort of allows us to be like, oh, I'm okay to be not all right.
Yeah.
It's okay not to be okay because he's a good dude and he's doing all right. And he's a good dude and he's doing all right. And it's kind of like, okay, I'm okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Right? Doctor comes in. It's taking a little bit longer for Kate to wake up.
To clear the anesthesia.
To clear the anesthesia. But she's still going to be fine. We'll give you an update when it's all said and done. You're like, okay. And you kind of have to dovetail all these things because they all sort of tie together. But I want to jump in just a little bit to Kate's anesthesia.
Yes, because while she's under, there's this beautiful montage where she sees herself as a baby with her brothers, like at the hospital. And then suddenly she sees, like, she's at the ice cream parlor, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where she sees all the other two versions of herself,
That's
right?
right.
Her, like, littlest version, her teenage version.
The teenager comes first.
Yes, exactly. And she's sort of like, she's at the hospital.
Heckling
She's
her.
at the
Yeah,
hospital.
like, you want to have a baby? Like, you're the least put together person.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, you are not supposed to be a mom. You're not supposed to be a parent. And then we see her and the smallest version of Kate, and Jack is there.
Yeah.
And they're all together. They all eat banana
cream ice cream?
Yeah,
or
the
banana pie.
banana pie
The one
ice
that she
cream.
wanted for
Yes.
her.
Banana pudding
For
ice
her
cream.
wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, it's really sweet. And you sort of understand the correlation between her being here and seeing her dad and sort of making peace with the different versions of herself and not clearing the anesthesia yet, not ready to wake up. It's like she has this unfinished business.
Yeah.
And she finally has to tell Jack and the other Kates that, like, she does have to go.
I got somewhere to go.
Yeah, I have somewhere to go. I have somewhere to be. I'm not, like, ready to be here with you guys yet, even though there's such a pull, there's such a draw for her to be there with her father and these other versions of herself where she feels sort of really comfortable, right? Yeah. And she, of course, then wakes up.
She tells the teenage kid, I know you're going through a tough time right now, but it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
Right? She tells the youngest version of yourself, you're going to marry a guy. Is he going to be like something? She's like, no, he's going to be even better. And he's going to be tall and he's going to be really funny and it's going to be great. Right? And it's this pull because I think what the anesthesia represents as far as the doctors and their legitimate concern for what her future is like it's a liminal space of, do I decide to come back or do I decide to cross over, right? And in that, it's like, you know what? There's more for me to do here. I'm not ready yet. Eventually, I'll see y'all.
Yeah.
And when I see y'all, it's going to be wonderful, but like, it's not my time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she wakes up.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
And she sees Toby and she sees that Randall's there and basically tells him, like, it's the most dad move ever that he flew all the way across the country. She's like, what? You're here? Like, she can't believe that she wakes up and you're
to say
there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because he had to say it to her face. And after we have just seen dad agree, although we haven't seen the trip, to go to Los Angeles with you.
Yeah.
Like making the move to the West Coast. So he just did that as well.
And they got 8 eggs.
He got 8 eggs.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
It was a very successful egg retrieval surgery. They got 8 eggs and and so the journey continues for them. Their fertility journey continues.
Because it's interesting because right before she was about to go into surgery and while she's doing that, Toby will go ahead and farm some of your semen or whatnot. And you're like,
keep talking
can't
about
wait.
my sperm. Yeah. Well, it's while we were hugging. Remember she asked?
That's right. We were hugging.
Yeah, my arm was around you.
This is unfortunate time.
That's unfortunate timing.
So all those things are happening. Then for Randall too, he goes home and he winds up telling Beth, you guys help me out on this because I'm a little fuzzy. Also, because this is the part
that you didn't get to. Okay, got it. I got it. Well, what we didn't see earlier in the episode was that Beth was waiting for a proposal of hers to get approved by her boss at work.
Yes.
And when she arrives at work that next day, in anticipation of him sort of reviewing her proposal,
her boss, right?
She gets unceremoniously fired, like out of the
Yeah.
blue, and basically is just told that she is less
She's
valuable
not as
than
valuable as two other
two other
senior
colleagues.
yeah.
Yeah. And Beth has this flashback to William when William was around, and
Yeah.
he basically like has this beautiful analogy and says that, you know, Beth is sort of like the bass and like a jazz quartet, right? She's the quietest, but the
Yeah.
people who really know music, who really love and really listen,
Yep.
like they're the ones that are listening for the bass.
She holds the beat.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you hold the beat.
Soloist gets all the glory, but you're the one who keeps it all together.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you see, eventually your time will come when you get to solo.
Yes.
And when that time comes, you better make sure your husband, basically, to use a Chris Rock euphemism, you make sure that brother plays the tambourine when it's time for him to play the tambourine. Because it's your time to be out front. And when that happens, don't twiddle your ring.
Yeah, don't twiddle your ring. He did mention that.
Yeah.
And pretend like you forgot why you got married.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, all of this to say, when Randall flies back to see Beth and says that he has made a decision, that he wants to do something concrete to really help. He says he's going to run against the councilman.
Yeah.
And just as Beth sort of takes that in, she admits to him that,
I just lost my job.
Yeah, she's been fired.
So this is like the beginning of one of my favorite periods in the show.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of a period of Beth and Randall sort of being at odds with one another.
Yeah, it's a tiny chasm that's sort of like we feel the first break with them.
Right.
But there's also, we have this running joke through the first 2.5 seasons, like, and what does Beth do again?
Yeah.
And even to a certain extent, and what is trading weather future?
Yeah,
like, they both do things that like
their jobs are both a little ambiguous.
They're a little ambiguous, right? So I think the writers are like, we want to give them things that people can sort of hold on to, that give them a sense of purpose and what their dream is. Right?
Yeah. Randall's definitely not living his dream. And nor is Beth.
Nor is Beth. Right?
Neither of them are.
Like family life is great.
Is a dream.
Kids are great, et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of what they want to give their lives to, there's something lacking.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more That Was Us.
Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online, especially at a time when surveillance and data breaches are making everyone feel a little exposed.
As someone with a pretty public online presence, I try to stay aware of where my information may be showing up, and Delete Me helps me feel like I am taking a real concerted step to protect myself.
Delete Me works by removing your personal information from hundreds of data broker websites, the ones that quietly collect and sell your data without you ever knowing.
And it's especially important if you're outspoken online or have a job that puts you in the public eye. The more exposed you are, the more proactive you have to be.
Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting TWU to 64000. The only way to get 20% off is to text TWU to 64000. That's TWU to 64000. Message and data rates may apply.
So now we have Kev and Zoe.
Yes.
And he's about to get interviewed
by Terry Gross.
Whoever that dude is. And Zoe's like, she's not a dude. She's a lady and she's awesome. Right? And he's like, oh, okay. Then it's because of Terry Gross that she wants to come as well. Zoe wants to come and check out.
Suddenly she's changing her tune about like spending time with Kevin.
Yeah.
Going on this press run.
Serious interview.
There you go. It's a serious thing. And Kev goes, meets Terry Gross, you're great in the show.
Yeah, she's great.
You're really, really wonderful. Like, she took it super serious. Like, it felt
she was
so
herself.
real. She was totally herself.
Yeah.
And when she meets Kevin and Zoe admits to being a big fan because she's a documentarian. Like, what allows you to ask these questions or whatnot? You know, I try not to underestimate my guest. right? She says something else.
Yeah.
I'm curious,
I'm curious.
and I don't underestimate people.
There you go. And I think she said that in a way that Zoe and the audience and the way in which Kevin is set up, like from the beginning, Kevin is the most consistently underestimated
Character
of
on the
his
show.
brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Dan frequently gives him some of the coolest things to do because of that. Like, you think I'm only capable of this.
Right.
Yeah, you think
Let
I
me show
just
you.
sort of exist on the surface.
Right.
But there are many, many, many layers to the onion.
Exactly. So we get to the interview. Terry's interviewing him, and she's talking about how complex and layered the character is that he's playing or whatnot. And as she's saying it about the character, I think we're also hearing it about Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Kevin is more than what meets
Right.
the eye. And she said, your father was in Vietnam, right? Were you able to tap into his experience for this portrayal? And you see him sort of have this moment.
Yeah, he
of,
stumbles on the answer a little bit.
you know, not really. I guess he didn't really talk much about it, you know?
Yeah.
And then Terry sort of bails him out a little bit, saying, like, you know, men of that generation probably found it difficult to talk about unless they were talking to other veterans.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, maybe. And there's a flashback in the middle of the interview where young Kevin is with his dad, and they're at some store.
They're
and
at like a model airplane
store,
toy
toy
store or
and
something.
Kev starts sort of like playing war. He's like firing the hole or something.
Toy gun.
Toy gun.
And a
and
grenade.
Jack is trying to get him to stop or whatnot, but Kev's just having a good time doing his thing, playing around, and then Jack gets serious. He's like, stop. Raises his voice a little bit, gets into his face, and he's like,
yeah, very stern.
And then Kev, back to the interviews, was like, I don't really know anything about it, you know? And Terry's like, that's okay. It's sort of an awkward pause in the interview, but, you know, she tries to steer it onto his way.
You can see the wheels turning in his head, though. He's like,
Hard.
wait, I've never really thought about this. I don't know much about my dad's service.
Yeah.
I never asked those questions. Why didn't I ask those questions? Why didn't he talk about it? I mean, it's like you just saw all of this sort of on his face.
Yeah. So present day, Kev's got a board up, as one is prone to do.
Yeah. You know.
He has a Vietnam board.
To let a
Right.
TV audience know that I'm thinking about something.
There
Yeah.
you go. And
Yep.
Zoe is like, what is this supposed to be? And he's like, it works on Homeland, right? With little strings
Yeah.
connected to pictures that mom and that dad was able to save
From the fire.
From the fire, right? And that you ultimately give him to check out. And you can see there's another flashback to where his dad, after that scene in the store, comes into the room and he goes, you know, I don't talk about the war a lot. It was hard. A lot of hard things happened. So why I see people play this game, it's not so fun to me, right? You know, I'm sorry I did that. Yeah. But then he says, would you like to ask me anything?
Yeah, do you have any questions?
And Kev's like, Kev is, it's interesting because Ryan and I have this happen all the time where I'll go, did you ask your mom XYZ? And she's like, nope. I was like, well, why not? And she's like, I know that would have been the first thing that you did, Sterling. But sometimes what she might say could be so uncomfortable that I don't really want to cross that bridge to begin with. Like, I'm afraid of what I might hear, and it may be uncomfortable. And I get the sense from Kev, it's like, if he wanted to tell me, he would have told me.
Yeah.
And then I should just sort of leave it alone. I'm curious, like, how do you guys tend
Interpret
to operate
that?
in terms of your own negotiation of, like, if there's a question that you have about something in the world with an individual, are you apt to ask that question, even if the person may seem reticent, or do you just say, like, in their own time, they will divulge what they
It depends on the relationship, but I feel like I tend to err on the side of in their own time.
Okay.
Yeah, I freeze up.
You
like
do?
I don't know how to ask. I feel like I'm imposing. I feel like like it's none of my business.
Yeah.
Even my close friends, close
Yeah.
family. It's maybe it's more. It's obviously it's like a self pity type thing more than anything else. For him, I don't know what to say. It's none of my business. You know, that type of kind of locking up. I don't know. It's just. Part of the wiring, part of the way I'm growing up.
You know, so my mom, and she's not probably wrong, because I would ask my mom these questions early on. She would tell me things, about how she would go on the road with these bands. And how she had to I kept a pistol. Like my mom was like,
Whoa.
she wasn't,
Arlene.
she didn't play around. And if I ever asked her, like, what'd you do with the band? And she's like, don't be nosy, right? And I was like, you're the one who's talking about it. I just wanted to know what kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's because she didn't want to talk. She's a lady. And you're left to infer whatever you're left to infer. So, but I will always ask for the specific question, and she's like, none of your business. I was like, well, quit talking about it, Arlene.
Yeah, you brought it up.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's great.
I actually find, what is it that I find? Because this is probably slightly different than you guys. And I find like you guys could probably employ it too. I find, by and large, that when you are vulnerable with people and willing to share aspects of your life that folks don't frequently share, that they are prone to reciprocate in kind, right? And
You're very good at it. You are very good at checking in and just coming out with it. Like I've seen you do it. You've done it with me.
Sure.
I've seen you do it with other people, and you do it in a way where there's none of your questions are leading.
No.
Like
You have a natural curiosity.
Yeah.
You do.
I do.
Yeah.
About others, about the world around you. And it's really beautiful. It's one of my favorite things about you.
Thank you.
But so I think it comes, maybe it's more effortless for you
Okay.
than it would be for me.
I hear you.
But I agree. I wish I want to employ more of that.
Yeah.
I'm okay to be vulnerable, but it's and not saying that you have the expectation of someone else then being vulnerable back with you.
Right.
But yeah, I too sort of share the idea of like, I'm a little hesitant because I don't want someone to ever feel obligated either.
There are very few people I know, friends included, who I don't have the response, like in my head, them thinking, what makes you think we're close enough
Oh, really?
for you to ask me that?
Wow.
Which is my own thing.
Yeah,
hear you.
sure. Yeah. I
This
feel
is
that.
amazing. So this is really good because you guys can sort of vibe with Kev, and I'm sort of like in the Zoe place because Zoe says to him, she goes, "Why are you helping me?" And he's like, "I'm a curious person, and I'm trying not to underestimate people." Right? That's what she says.
Yeah.
Something to that extent.
It's
which
still
is
all
sweet.
feeling a little phony to me.
Is it really?
Yeah, because she's jumped in because she gets to meet Terry Gross, not because she's trying to support Kevin.
I feel like that's
and then she takes Terry Gross's quote about Terry Gross and applies it to herself. Like, get out of here.
Well, our heckles are already up a little bit with
Yeah.
Zoe because of
This
what
is
Beth
true, because
said
of
to
what
Kevin.
Beth
Like
said.
she's
And I trust
complicated and she's I do too. When Beth gives you a warning, you heed that.
I trust Beth too, but I also had the feeling that like while her motives for going in the first place were to meet Terry Gross, something uncovered. Like in terms of
She's
the
a
through line
curious
from
person,
last week in terms of why doesn't anybody take me seriously?
Yeah.
I think we're seeing Zoe begin to take him seriously. He
bit.
didn't charm himself out of the question.
Right.
He actually got stuck in a thought and realized,
Right.
I don't have an answer. I think she was intrigued by
Yeah,
that.
that's her world. That's
You know what
how
I'm
she
saying?
operates.
Yeah.
Sure.
So now my
her
job is to
currency.
excavate and
Yep.
figure out what's happening in
Right,
that whole
right.
thing. It's another good episode of television.
It's a really it's an interesting one. That's
It's
for sure.
setting up a lot. You know, we've talked about the Vietnam storyline and sort of. I just love how we just slowly piece it out.
Yep.
We get little bit of things, right? Kev, it turns out Jack did speak to his son about it briefly. He spoke to Rebecca about it briefly. And in speaking about it, he speaks, I don't like to speak about it.
Yes.
Like the lesson that like the overall, the through line is like, I'm telling you this because I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
He had his boundaries.
He had his boundaries.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it didn't really allow for the conversation to go forward.
Right.
You know, people, his son, his wife respected that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's territory we don't cross with dad.
There you go. So, you know, because I'm even curious too. I don't even know if it comes up in the cross-country trip, but we're going to find out because they're about to drive to L.A.
Yeah.
Randall is about to run for office,
Yep.
or he thinks he's going to run for office.
Right.
We'll see how that whole thing
Right.
plays out. You guys come out of the surgery. You got 8 eggs. We're all very hopeful that everything goes well there.
Yeah.
That's where we
And
are.
Kevin and Zoe are going to embark on
Well, we already saw them on the plane at the end of season 2.
Exactly. They're going to start putting the pieces together.
So that's going to be...
Finding some of Jack's buddies that are in those the photo with him from Vietnam that they have.
He sends the email.
That's right.
Sends the email.
I also like I feel like 18 episodes for us was just right. Like, and what I mean by that, something's always happening in the episode. You know what I'm saying? And it feels very sort of like, oh, I can't wait to see what the next part is.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like we're just standing still like a soap opera. You can sort of jump in. No shade to how they used to be, because those were very comforting.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to watch the show or else you'll be like,
what happened?
Vietnam?
Hard show to syndicate.
Very hard show to syndicate.
Yeah.
Let's do a fan segment, our favorite part of the show.
So in terms of like how we're going to answer these, should we do this on camera? Let's do it on camera.
Please allow me to host.
Go.
Yes.
Could you, if you don't mind, contestants.
Apologies.
Welcome to the fan segment, our favorite portion of the podcast. Today, we are talking to Ashley Mims.
Hello.
Ashley is going to be competing against my co-hosts, Sterling and Mandy.
Here we go.
Okay.
On their This Is Us trivia.
Oh boy.
And Ashley, what we've decided is I've got a series of questions here. Some easy, some medium level, and some hard.
Oh, wow. I'm definitely failing.
Since we don't have buzzers, what the buzzer system is going to be is as soon as I am done reading the question.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm finished reading the question.
You have to finish the question. Okay.
You say your name to buzz in.
Okay. So whoever says their name
I'll take a quick Mims.
Okay.
And a mizzle.
You should say one syllable and I should say one syllable, because otherwise Mims comes out quick. Brown and Moore.
More.
Okay.
Are you ready for your questions?
Yes.
Ready.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Okay.
So all of these questions are from season 3, episode 3, entitled Katie Girls.
I'm legitimately nervous.
I will be embarrassed.
I'm excited.
Ashley ready.
I believe
she's so
Ashley
ready.
is going to smoke you, and I'm going to be embarrassed for us.
Yes,
Come on.
you should
Here
be.
we go.
Question number 1. Please only buzz in after I'm finished reading the question. Where does Rebecca run into Jack when she says he never showed up for their second date?
Brown. Grocery store.
That is correct.
Wow.
Yes.
You were fast on the draw, too, with the fake buzzer.
Now,
Thank you.
Sterling, if you answer all of these,
I won't.
we got 2 very competitive cast members here. Question
I'm
2.
ready.
What surgery is Kate undergoing in this episode?
More egg retrieval surgery.
I'm going to give that to you. You buzzed in a little early.
Oh!
Please let me finish reading the question.
I didn't give you the chance to catch your breath, but I thought the question was answered.
Okay.
Question 3. In a flashback sequence, Jack gets mad at young Kevin for playing with what item?
More. Grenade.
Also correct.
Yes.
Come on,
yes.
Moore. Come on, Mandy
You guys
Moore.
are smoking me.
No, you got this.
You can catch up.
Okay.
Now the questions get to a medium level of
Okay.
difficulty.
Okay.
This is where I fail.
Before Kate goes into surgery, she tells Toby that if she dies, she wants him to move on, but she forbids him to move on with which 2 people?
Oh, more. Madison and Sharon, the woman he works with.
That is correct.
I forgot Madison. I didn't share it.
That is correct. All right. I hope someone out there is keeping score.
Let me
It's 3-1.
get on track.
You got this.
Come on.
You got it.
This is a hard format for a
Okay.
trivia show.
Yes.
We're figuring it out. Question 2 in the medium category. When Jack is moving his mom out of her house and over to her friend's house, away from his abusive father, what does Jack's mom say she has to stop to get?
Mims.
Oh, Brown.
Oh, sorry, that was Mims.
Let's give it
Go
to
ahead,
Mims.
Mims. Go ahead, Mims.
She has to get a cake for her friend.
That's right.
It's a coffee
Mims
cake.
on the board.
Yes.
Mims is on the board.
It's a coffee cake. I just want to be clear.
Yes, it was coffee cake.
That's very specific, Sterling, but yes.
Yes.
Go for it.
Question 3. At the end of the episode, Rebecca asks Jack if she wants to go for a drive. Where does she ask him to drive to?
Mims.
Go on, Mims.
She wants to go to California.
That's right. Specific city?
I know she wants to, what city?
It's not San
Los
Francisco.
Angeles?
There we go.
Good
missed
call.
it.
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You good. You good. Okay.
Where are you from, Mims?
I am from Birmingham, Alabama.
All right.
Come
Yes.
on now.
All right.
Just in Birmingham, is it Roll Tide
Roll
or is
Tide.
it Tigers?
It's Roll Tide.
It's
Yes.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide,
I got you.
yes.
Okay. Here we go.
That was a dangerous question to ask. Some
Well, I
people.
said it's
I know,
either one or the
I
other.
know.
It's serious.
I
But
didn't
even to
assume.
ask
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
But even to ask it. To whom, question 4. To whom does Rebecca confess she might have a feeling about someone other than Alan?
Brown.
More.
Ma'am. Okay.
That was Brown.
Alan's
Yes.
mama.
Yes.
Alan's mom.
That's right.
All right. I don't know what's someone keep me score?
Mandy Moore's got 3. I got 2. Mills got 2.
Got it.
There you go.
All right. These are the hard ones, y'all.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are worth more points, right?
These are worth 2 points.
These are worth 2 points. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
You just made that up.
I'm the host. I can do
You
that.
can.
Except for you. These are only worth 1.
Damn.
No more talk back. Okay, question 1. What's Alan's line to Rebecca, which he says both when he first meets her and when he shows up on her doorstep?
More.
Ma'ams.
Go ahead.
He's never seen, or sorry,
Oh.
sugar. I've never seen anything like
he
it.
just got
That was the
buzzed.
timer. Sorry, time's up.
Give it to
Mims?
Mims.
He tells her that they've never met anyone like her and they never will. And when he shows up at her
That's
doorstep,
right.
he
They've never
says the same.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Close. Okay.
They've never seen anything like you
Yeah.
before,
Okay,
and they
like
never
you.
will again.
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
Give it
That's
to
going to
Mims.
do 2 points to each. They both get 2 points.
I was going to say the same.
You
We
get
went
none.
together.
I
You
was
get
getting
0
there, but
points.
you buzzed me.
Yeah, well, your time ran out, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
These are the rules. You signed off on this at the
There
beginning.
are no rules.
Well, all right, question number 2. What color is Jack's car when he drives to Rebecca's house when he sees Alan on her doorstep?
Mims.
Yes.
I hope I'm right. Is it blue?
You are correct.
I think,
Okay.
yeah. All right, man.
Couldn't tell if it's gray. It's a light blue,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
a
with you.
skyish blue.
Nice
Yeah.
one, Mims. Nice one. Right on.
Question 3. Who does Beth have an imaginary conversation with after getting fired?
Brown.
Mims.
Who's that? I'll give it to you, Mims.
Okay. William?
That's
Yeah.
correct. That is correct. All right, 2 more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope someone's keeping track. What city did Alan ask Rebecca to move to 3 years prior, to which she rejected the proposal?
Brown.
Mims.
That was Brown.
London.
Okay.
Last question.
Jolly London
Okay.
town.
This is the last question. It
Okay.
is worth 5 points.
Here we go.
wow.
This is it.
Let's do it.
When Toby and Randall are sitting in the waiting room at the hospital, what word do they both say while hitting their heads and chest?
Brown. Man.
That is correct.
I was in the scene. It's not fair.
It's true. It's true. And you just watched it. Also not fair.
Yeah, and he just finished watching it.
Okay.
This was
Wait,
so much
this
fun,
was,
and I'm not
It
sure if it was
was.
totally fair at all, but thanks for being here and
Ashley,
testing this
you
out.
dominated. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I've watched a few times, and I do still intend to send you all an email or voice note
Yes.
because I just love the show, and it's just resonated with me on so many different levels.
Please
So,
do. Please do.
Please.
Yes, I
do.
still will do that. Yes.
Well, thanks
I
for
enjoyed
being on this
talking with you
journey
all
with
today.
us. Aw, thanks.
We
We love talking to you too.
Ashley. This was an
Yes.
absolute blast.
Yes.
Take care of Birmingham for us, and we'll see you or hear from you sometime real soon. God bless you, sister.
Okay.
Take it
care.
easy.
Mims out.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, that was our first quiz.
That was fun.
What should we call this? Do we just call it guest quiz show?
Interactive fan segment?
Interactive fan segment, trivia.
Trivia.
We need
is
something
us.
cooler.
I think that's my new favorite
That was fun.
fan segment.
Yeah, the 2 Aries in the room.
Well, you don't get to be the host each time. One day
I'm
you
gonna
have
be the
to
host
do it.
next time.
Okay. Randy gets
And
to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
make the rules.
Retribution.
There you go. There you
This
go.
one's worth no points.
Yeah.
None. If your name is Chris Sullivan, you get 0 points, even if you answer correctly.
This has been another episode of That Was Us.
Thanks for joining us, friends.
Absolute joy. If you haven't done it by this time, please like, subscribe, tell a friend.
That's right.
You can see us on YouTube or anywhere where you catch your podcasts. If you want to share any thoughts, feelings, reflections on your experience with the show, please hit us up at That Was Us pod, right?
At gmail.com.
Or you can leave us a message on the emotional support hotline at 412-501-3028. Again, that's
501
3028.
There you go. We'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye, friends.
That Was Us is filmed at Rabbit Grin Studios and produced by Rabbit Grin Productions. Music by Taylor Goldsmith and Griffin Goldsmith.
Da-da-da-dum, da-da-dum, that was us.